So you get to see them on camera and all that fun stuff. So yeah, let's go live here. Let's get live. Let's see. Okay, good. Going live. Awesome. Congrats. Thank you. Yeah. Good to see you, Sarah. Good. Shar, good. Okay, awesome. So I believe we're live in all places. Live on the Twitter and live. Excuse me. Oh, bless me. Woo, that sent shivers down my spine. Okay, cool. So what we're going to be talking today about is this upcoming 5-day challenge, which is really cool. It's starting on October 11th. So if you go to the link I'll be posting just in a moment, you'll be able to go there and register. But before we do that, we always like to start with our simultaneous squeeze, which is a great way to activate your vagus nerve. So you'll just follow the instructions as I do them, and you'll breathe with me, okay? So it's going to be a big deep breath in like this. Just do it with me, and I'll explain it as we go. Breathe in through your mouth. Take a sip of air at the top. Hold it and squeeze. And then slowly exhale through your mouth. And melt into your chair and feel great. Feel nice and calm and relaxed and very stimulated. So that's an example of what it's like to stimulate your vagus nerve. Now, in today's video, we're going to be covering, of course, the 5-day challenge, but I'm also going to be including just a few smatterings of questions that I've gotten through the Facebook group and as well through the Facebook page over just the last week or so. I've seen a lot of questions come in about damage to the vagus nerve from chiropractic care, and if that means that their vagus nerve is overstimulated or understimulated. So I'll be addressing some of these questions as well here soon. But first, to get the housekeeping out of the way, so what we have coming up is an exciting opportunity to learn from me live at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, so 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, coming up on Wednesday, October 11th. You'll be able to join us here on Facebook. I'll post the event details here in the chat so you can kind of see what those look like. If you want to participate, you can go to this link. It's simple to remember, vegushub.com, which is our website where we keep all of our good stuff, /5day. That's all you got to do is just go there. vegushub.com/5day. And that'll help you register for the 5-day challenge. We'll be sending out email alerts as we get closer and closer to the time of the event. And then we'll be going live on October 11th. You'll be getting lots of updates and reminders before that happens. And then you'll also be getting the replays available to you at the end of each day. We'll keep the replays available for about a few weeks after. So if for some reason you can't make it live, then of course replays are available. However, it's so much better to be there live when it's happening. Otherwise, there's just something about the mind that isn't good at learning if we're not live. That's why I do live videos basically every day, is because you learn so much more if you know that I'm actually right here, right? I'm actually right here live. It's October the 2nd on Monday at 5:03 p.m. and I'm coming to you live from my office here in Washington State. And you can see my iron neck, and you can see my virtual reality headset in the background. That's a blood pressure monitor. There's my book collection, part of it. And yeah, going to something live makes all the difference in terms of how much is retained in your body and in your brain. What we're going to be doing in the challenge is going to be providing valuable insights into the vagus nerve, how it can be stimulated through both the natural and device-based interventions. So yeah, imagine getting the knowledge and skills to find real relief from some of the most challenging health conditions in the world. Bioelectric medicine and the ability to modulate the activity of the vagus nerve through small handheld devices that you can use at home is drastically changing the health landscape for millions of people all around the world as of right now. The whole world of stimulating the vagus nerve to modulate inflammation, to modulate severe symptoms from some really bad disorders of the brain and the body, is a real practical thing that's happening right now. This isn't the realm of science fiction. We're not having this discussion about vagus nerve stimulation because I'm getting you hyped up for something that's going to come out in 25 years when you're probably way, 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 way sick. This is stuff that's practically available right here, right now. So I highly encourage you to register for the 5-day challenge here early. Get that done. Get your name. All you need to put is your name and your email, and we'll just make sure we get you the emails updating you on when and where that's going to take place. It'll include the link to another separate Facebook group. It's the Vagus Nerve Stimulation Challenge Facebook group, and that'll be presented to you as well. You'll be able to join that. I'll hand approve you, and then you'll be ready to go, ready to rock, ready to go. So yeah, the 5-day challenge is fantastic. It's an interactive platform where we can engage live, similar to how we do these live videos. And you're going to be learning practical stuff that's very focused on a specific script that we follow. So you're going to have a very well laid out educational plan for every single day. Now, as I go live in the Facebook group every single day, the content that we're going to share oftentimes is going to be based on what's practically applicable in the main Facebook group on a daily basis. So I oftentimes get private questions from either clients, from non-clients, from random people all over the internet, and I use this video as an opportunity to answer those questions in some format that is accessible immediately and then searchable through the internet afterwards. So part of the reason, mainly why I stream also to YouTube, for instance, is that we have people watching us weeks, months, and even years later after the videos have gone live, because this video content shouldn't go to waste in that instance. Sometimes we talk about anti-aging and vagus nerve stimulation, or treating rheumatoid arthritis or fibromyalgia or multiple sclerosis with interventions like VNS. And those are problems that are, I hate to say it, but are evergreen issues. Those are issues that affect people every single day from now into the past, and it will into the future, unfortunately. I don't believe that I can snap my fingers and have there be a cure, but I do believe that if we can educate people and equip them with the right technology and the right influences and the right way to think about the problem, that can ultimately solve the big issues for people. And then the good news as well is, following on the tail of the 5-day challenge, for all of those who do sign up for coaching during that 5-day challenge, or those who are already in coaching, we'll be running actually a 3-day live in-person, on Zoom, where we'll all get to see each other on video, that kind of in-person video. And it'll be a 3-day event 2 weeks later for all active clients. So that means if you have your VNS in hand, we'll be using it together. We'll be going over some of the most advanced techniques that you can do with stimulating your vagus nerve. If you've heard my story from a few days ago about combining breathing and VNS sonication of the cervical vagus nerve, you'll actually be able to do that in a group setting with many other people in the program. So definitely use the 5-day challenge as a launch pad to sign up to get access to sonication technology. There's some amazing stuff happening in that field right now. There was just an event the other day from the Focused Ultrasound Foundation at the University of California, San Francisco, where they unveiled all of the active research happening in sonication of circuitry in the brain and in the body. Some of you I know in the video here have seen that post that I did just the other day. If you go to my personal page and you scroll down a little bit, you can see that here on Facebook. It's a big thing that says Focus Ultrasound Foundation. And that picture was taken by Steve Jurvetson. He's one of the original founders of Google and Facebook and all the tech companies. He runs a big venture capital fund. So the fact that this is getting that much attention from some of the biggest players in venture capital is really promising. It's really, really promising. And on other news as well, we just got reached out from a big fund to start testing some of our sonication insight into treating Alzheimer's now. Alzheimer's is a big deal. So again, if you want to be part of the future of medicine and you don't want it to be medicine's best kept secret, which is literally the joke that they had at that event, which is this really sonication of the body is literally the best kept secret in medicine, given how widely it's used as a treatment, and that so few people in the general population know about it. It's pretty remarkable. It's actually it's bizarre, to be honest. But yeah, so I hope you don't miss out on the incredible opportunity to join us on the 5-day challenge. And so I'll post the link there one more time. I'm also just going to post the link here on, let's see, to YouTube as well, since we have a lot of people watching there as well often. And then for Twitter, you guys, you're smart. You can figure it out. It's basically the 5-day, vegushub.com/5-day. Pretty simple, pretty easy to get to. I wonder if I have any way to publish this somehow. I don't even know. Okay, good. So it does work. Okay. That's good. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. And here Charlene says, the 5-day is so educational. If it weren't for the 5-day I participated, I'd still feel like 2 cents versus $1 million now. Join that 5-day. Can't agree more. I'm going to pin that comment. Such a good comment. I don't know if I can pin it. Well, I'll try. I tried. But yeah, no, super, super relevant. I mean, what we teach in the 5-day challenge is immediately applicable and practical. You're going to be doing it in a group setting with probably 30 to 50 other people who are from our Facebook group, all fully vetted, no a-holes, just nice people who are looking for legitimate solutions in their health care right now. 5-day challenge is honestly, it's a no-brainer. It's a zero investment opportunity. You just register, you sign up, and you're able to join right there. So we'll have all the information for you coming up soon. Let me get that pinned again. Where did your comment go? Oh, I think you deleted it. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Char. I didn't mean to put you on the spot there. But yeah, super, super relevant. The 5-day challenge is like awesome. It's a no-brainer. So cool. So now that we got that out of the way, so what I'd like to do now is just address, we have a couple other questions that have been asked here in the Facebook group about vagus nerve damage. A couple of them have been from COVID and from the vaccine. So what I'd like to do quickly is just disclaimer is I don't think we know enough about either one to say if one's better or not. Or like which one is more damaging or whatnot. Definitely, I believe that the spike protein is in both things ultimately, and it's the spike protein that really is causing the damage to people's bodies for sure. So it's important to be very careful about getting it or getting it, right? You don't want to catch it and you don't want to get it. Up to you. It's up to you what you do with your health. But regardless of that, people have been experiencing health effects from exposure to one of the two or both. And they've been asking me, is it possible that my vagus nerve is overstimulated because they're having some symptoms of feeling overstimulated? And I told them it's definitely not your vagus nerve that is overstimulated. A metaphor that I often give, and I'll just share it really briefly because I know you guys watching have already heard me say this, but basically if you go into a sensitive nerve network like the vagus nerve and you damage it and you start cutting it up and lacerating it, it'd be like if you took a glass bottle, crushed it up into little sharp pieces, and then swallowed it. That's about the equivalent of getting infected with spike proteins. Now, would you expect your body to work better or worse after eating broken glass? Generally speaking, your function is going to be decreased significantly. It's going to work less. It's going to be working worse than before. That's a fact. So in that instance, then what can we say about this? Which is, if you got either one of those vectors of infection or exposure to mRNA, your vagus nerve is not the thing that's overstimulated. What's making you feel overstimulated is a chronically activated sympathetic nervous system, which means your body is producing a lot of adrenaline and a lot of cortisol, and that's making you feel so stressed and making you feel so ill all the time. It is not your vagus nerve that is overstimulated. So if your question then would be, well, if my vagus nerve is overstimulated, shouldn't I not stimulate it? And you'll notice oftentimes we don't talk about, I'm not pushing vagus nerve stimulation so much. I'm pushing vagus nerve sonication, which modulates the activity of the vagus nerve and doesn't either stimulate or destimulate. It just modifies its activity to work within a specific optimal range. And that doesn't mean up or down. That means back to the middle. That's what sonication does to the vagus nerve. So when I say VNS, I'm not saying stimulation. I'm saying vagus nerve. Laura, I just saw your comment. Vagus nerve sonication, which is a way to modulate your vagus nerve. Sorry, Laura, you're so funny. Lori's comment is, I wouldn't suggest swallowing glass, which, thank you so much. I do deeply appreciate your comment. It is a good reminder. I also do not recommend swallowing glass. If anybody thought that for a moment, please let me clarify. I'm not encouraging you to swallow glass, okay? So anyway, back to the function of the vagus nerve. Yes, so damage to the vagus nerve is not going to cause you to feel overstimulated. If you do feel overstimulated, it means your sympathetic nervous system is stressed the heck out, and your body's responding as if it's under attack, and your body responds as a adrenaline producer. Adrenaline, the noradrenaline, norepinephrine, is the hormone of stress, and your body's producing a lot of it most likely. And that is causing the effect and the function and the feeling of overstimulation. So you cannot at all allow yourself to be so stressed out. Now, the things that are important to do in those instances is that you do want to modulate your vagus nerve so that it works properly in response to stress. If you're not doing anything to help your vagus nerve, then you are allowing yourself to become basically the victim of your fight or flight system, your sympathetic nervous system. This is really bad, and you'll know what the effects are. The effects are very obvious. The effects can feel sort of like inflammation in the body. This can feel like fatigue, sometimes a shakiness, sometimes a fluttering in your body, a feeling of just dis-ease. You feel tired, you feel restless, you feel like your brain just isn't working. You can get bloating, you can get stomach pain, you get constipated, you can have heart palpitations, you can have a really rapid heart rate, you can have a really high blood pressure most of the time, but sometimes this can also be reported in your blood pressure monitor as low blood pressure. And so that is all going to be related to the dysfunction of your vagus nerve. So this is why, for instance, when you stand up and the pressure of your blood changes in your body and you feel dizzy, that is a test of your vagus nerve function. And if you get dizzy after standing up, then that would indicate that you failed the standing test. That would indicate, again, that your vagus nerve is not functioning properly. It's not that it's working overtime or it's working better than before. It means squarely and substantially that your vagus nerve is not working. If you stand up quickly and you get dizzy and you have to sit down, your vagus nerve is not functioning properly. This can be fixed by working on your vagus nerve's health. How do you work on your vagus nerve health? For one, you want to look at getting your vagus nerve to activate, just the same way you would get a muscle to work. If I was having difficulty standing or walking or squatting or using my hand, I would assume that my muscles and the nerves going to those body parts, like if I was constantly grabbing cups and they were dropping out of my hand, I would assume that my hand is weak, right? I wouldn't be like, is my hand overstimulated? No. If I'm grabbing a cup and I'm not squeezing it and smashing it, most of you would be grabbing something heavy and it would be dropping out of your hand. I know when I had a car accident years ago that I had this huge issue in my left arm, and the first few weeks I actually dropped my coffee mug. And I was like, why the hell is that happening? And I asked my doctor, and they're like, yeah, the nerves in your neck that exit to your arm have gotten compressed and they're hurt, they're damaged, they're not working the way that they should. So it's really, really, really important that you work on the muscles, that you have to retrain them. For fixing that, I had to go to a physical therapist, and they did work on my neck to take the pressure off of the nerves in my arm, right? Take pressure off of the nerves because they were compressed. They were being irritated. But then I also had to figure out ways to start training my grip. I had to actually squeeze a inflatable ball repeatedly a couple times throughout the day, so I could start sending information from my brain down to my hand through the nerves. That's part of the rehabilitation process. So if you're trying to rehabilitate your vagus nerve, one of the things you can do is to try to take pressure off of the vagus nerve, is try traction, try releasing the strain of your neck, then try strengthening the musculature, getting the curvature back in your neck. There are ways to do this at home. We'll talk about this a lot in the 5-day challenge on how to do this. You also want to start practicing using your vagus nerve. If you were here with us yesterday, you heard us talk about humming and gargling and singing and breathing. There's so many ways that you can naturally exercise your vagus nerve. You can naturally exercise your vagus nerve. You need to use the nerve. Most people are like, I think I have a vagus nerve issue. And I'm like, when was the last time you did anything tangibly to use it, right? If somebody's saying, when I'm walking outside, my legs get really sore and I feel like my muscles in my legs are weak, what can I do to fix it? I would be an asshole if I was like, well, just take these magic pills. It'll make your legs stronger. The only way to naturally get your muscles stronger when they're weak from when you walk is to go walk more, okay? Like 1-to-1, they are the same. They literally tie into each other very clearly. So if you're having issues with your vagus nerve, doing things that engage your vagus nerve are going to be helpful. And then there's therapies that can be applied to stimulate and activate and regulate the function of the vagus nerve when it's in rehabilitation. Oftentimes during rehabilitation, you'll see people wearing a cast or a brace, something that supports the safe function of that nerve, that it's not too intense or it's enough that it can be supported. So you got to think about this really practically, logically, and rationally. This doesn't have to be something complicated. I saw somebody in a Facebook group the other day on vagus nerve damage, and they said, I have reflux, the heartburn from acid in their throat. And they said, can I just get my vagus nerve cut? And everybody in there, I think, was really appropriately concerned for this woman. And they're like, no, absolutely not. Why in the world would you consider cutting the vagus nerve for something like reflux? Don't you know once you cut the vagus nerve, it's not going to come back from that. You can't just go in there cutting nerves because you have some issue with the production of stomach acid. And sometimes the reflux feeling isn't because you're producing too much stomach acid. You can also get silent reflux from your body not producing enough stomach acid. And that's oftentimes, again, another function and feature of vagus nerve damage, because it's your vagus nerve that sends signals to certain cells in your stomach to produce stomach acid to start being able to digest food before it hits the stomach acid. So if your vagus nerve is hurt, you might not actually be producing enough stomach acid to be able to digest the food properly. Then you get rotting food in your stomach, and then you're experiencing the side effects from fermented food in your stomach where it shouldn't be happening. And then to go and say, well, I guess I should cut the vagus nerve is like, this is the level, and I don't blame her. This isn't her fault at all. This is her doctor's fault. This is her specialist's fault. This is the fault of all of the total BS information that's found just by Googling this kind of stuff. It is so all over the place. It's really clearly disgusting. And I also think that there's an incentive to limit the amount of accurate data to keep people confused, to keep people with their heads cut off, running around, confused about what to do. And the fact of the matter is, should she go for that cutting of the vagus nerve, she's going to make some surgeon tens of thousands of dollars. So some surgeon who's going to go open her stomach up, open up her chest, rip open her rib cage, and my God, and to have her vagus nerve cut because she thinks she has what would basically be the minor inconvenience of reflux compared to the massive inconvenience of having your vagus nerve cut. Charlene says it great here. Her brother had vagus nerve cut, never talked after that. As I said yesterday, people often misassume that when they hum, that the vibration from humming is what stimulates their vagus nerve. And they think, oh, well, if I could just vibrate my throat, then I'll also stimulate my vagus nerve. Not realizing that it is your vagus nerve that is your voice. When I'm speaking, you're hearing the health of my vagus nerve right now. My ability to speak in a way that is not monotone, that is at least somewhat engaging, that is at least somewhat, I have the ability to project my voice and to enunciate clearly. That is a function of my vagus nerve specifically. And if you go and you cut that nerve, you would destroy somebody's ability to speak in some cases completely, especially if you cut anywhere above this part of their neck. But even lower, you can actually cut the recurrent laryngeal nerve, and you can also lose your ability to speak properly. So this is a dangerous game that people are being goaded or pushed into, that you could cut the vagus nerve and you're going to get your life back. I'm going to make the promise to the moon. See, the surgeon who cuts into you can make all the promises in the world and pay zero of the repercussions. There's no anything that Charlene's brother could do once that nerve has been cut. And yet there's some surgeon out there who still today, after that procedure has been banned, legally banned across all of Europe. They used to cut the vagus nerve for ulcers. They stopped doing it in the 80s. They stopped doing it because they're like, wow, the side effects of cutting this nerve are way more severe than the stomach ulcers. And then they had, PPIs and anti-reflux drugs that came out as well. So they you don't have to cut the vagus nerve anymore. It's just ridiculous. So don't do that. That's just crazy. So yeah, anyway, there's a lot of misinformation out there about the vagus nerve and about what you can do about it and what you should do to it. I think you should do smart things, learn more about this before you take any action, like getting a Nissen fundoplication. There was a woman here, Jen, I think, just 2 weeks ago. And she was like, hey, what are the side effects of getting your vagus nerve cut? I'm getting it cut next week, as if we're in any position to try and have her call off this surgery, which she's probably been planning for months. You know, it takes 7 months to plan a surgery like that. And she's now just coming to the Facebook group to ask that. I mean, those must be some pretty needy doctors that are pushing that on her, right? Oh no, this is going to help. I can't imagine that she's going to come back saying, wow, that was the best decision I ever made to have my vagus nerve cut into at my stomach and my esophagus. I'm so glad I went with that. She could have gone with something like VNS. She could have sonicated her vagus nerve. She could have done any number of things before she went with cutting. She clearly she had not exhausted many options before she decided to get it cut. She's probably in recovery right now, in probably a lot of pain right now, because they had really opened her up to be able to do that surgery. So it's unfortunate. It's sad. I don't wish that on anybody, but it is what it is. What has happened has happened. So yeah, no, it is bad. Yeah, Lori adds, specialists know nothing on vagus nerve and or digestion. They really don't. They know some things, but it's not a comprehensive knowledge, and it's unfortunate, and people suffer. People definitely suffer. So anyway, well, that's kind of what I wanted to mainly share. So I'm going to post this here one last time. Register for the 5-day challenge coming up in next week. Next Wednesday, not this coming Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. So you got more than about 9 days from right now till then to try and schedule it. It's 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from Wednesday till Sunday. So you can at least catch the Saturday, Sunday if you're working those first 3 days. Replays will be available. Register for it for sure. Yeah, I've been up since, 6 a.m. or something like that. Been busy. I'm working multiple projects right now. So, and my vagus nerve, talking about the vagus nerve, yawning is a good sign that your vagus nerve is very active. So that's what's going on. And I think it's dinner time, honestly. So, anyway, but good to see you guys. Thanks so much for joining. We'll wrap it up there. Do some more vagus nerve stimulation. Try to get yourself to yawn. See if you can do it. It'll make you feel really good. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And I look forward to seeing you very soon. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Lori. Thanks, Shar. Thanks, TK. Good to see you all. And good luck with your vagus nerve health. All right? Take care. Bye-bye. I'll see you guys soon.